So continuing with our repair, damage, shipping issue story, this is the second part of what happened after we discovered some damage to our campervan at Zwibble when we shipped her from New Zealand to Malaysia.
If you haven't seen that first video, just please, hopefully you'll see the link up there and watch that first. Watching that first will add a lot of context to this one here.
So in this video we're going to go through our repairs process, the unexpected damage that was revealed during that process, and what it's meant for us, what it's meant for our campervan at Zwibble, and also another snag that we ran into in our round the world trip that has changed our plans.
Once the damage to the solar panels on our campervan had been discovered, I very quickly had messaged our shipping agent back in New Zealand, as they were the ones that we took the marine insurance cover through, and yeah, pretty promptly they came back and gave us a claim form which we filled out, and part of that claim form was a request for two quotes to get the repairs made done on our solar panels to make them good again.
So this is the thing that was when we were so grateful that we were in Malaysia. So through some quick Googling, reaching out to different people by WhatsApp, but also reaching out to our Malaysian shipping agent and just saying, like, do you know anyone? We got a couple of names. We got and so while we were in Kuala Lumpur on our first day, just kind of getting the van reset, I was also reaching out to different companies because we wanted those quotes as quickly as possible so that we could then hit the road and get on with our travels. So we ended up going to two businesses. I think I had a third one lined up, but they didn't have the solar panels that would suit our setup. And so one of them was the company that we got a quote from but didn't end up using, and then the other one was this amazing company who not only gave us a quote, but they gave us such a thorough assessment, so we had a really good idea of how to resolve the van issues, and their recommendations probably have given us a bit of an added bonus to the van, which we'll explain when we get to the repairs.
And part of that assessment, it actually gave me a lot of reassurance that they knew what they were talking about, and I felt very, very comfortable that actually these guys are the ones that we really wanted to get our repairs done on.
And I think because we're talking about repairing something that's quite technical, it's not quite the same as, let's say, that the panel of the van had been damaged and we needed a new door, for example, where you just go to a panel beater, one that was associated with the brand. Like, we're talking about some very technical equipment on top of a van, so you had to find the right people, and we found the right people in VR Motorhome in Malaysia. Amazing people. And we decided to do our repairs in Kuala Lumpur rather than trying to do it on the road. Like, we just knew that it was going to be a loop back to Kuala Lumpur, but we thought it was worth it to find the reputable companies. So we hit the road excitedly, started exploring Malaysia. You may have seen some of the videos that we posted from our first week or so on the road.
Yes.
So in that week we were down on the beaches in the southeastern part of mainland Malaysia, and a good rainstorm came through, and we'd been in rain in the van already a couple of times, but this was pretty bad. Rain coming in through a couple of key points in the van. We had an issue with our back door, which we knew about from New Zealand, so
that was unrelated.
That was unrelated, but slightly annoying. But that same night with that heavy rain, we also had rain starting to come in through the cabinets that were above where the damage on the solar panels had been from that weight and that pressure. And so we had rain coming in through the, like, what we call our bathroom cabinet, where we keep all our toiletries, and like, we were like, oh, this is a bit annoying, put a bowl underneath it, we'll sort it out when we get we'll see what the damage is when we get the solar panel removed when it comes to the repairs. We noticed the rain about 7:30 at night. We went to bed, and about midnight we woke up to this, both of us woke up to the sound of, there had been a little bit of rain coming in through the Max fan at the front, but this was the fan going nuts. It was glitching out, it was opening and closing itself, it was beeping, and that meant that we knew that we had an issue where potentially water was coming in and starting to affect the electricals. So we jumped into the back of the van, ripped everything out at, like, 1:30 in the morning, whatever time it was. I think it was maybe about 3. And Darryl got into the back of the van and just pulled out the fuse. And so that was a moment where we thought, oh God, like how bad is this damage actually going to be? And I was thinking, oh, there's, you know, it's cracked through the roof, it's, you know, this pressure, whatever. Like we didn't actually know.
And we would find out once the solar panels were removed, so we could see for ourselves.
When we were in the Cameron Highlands, Darryl took the shroud off the van cover, and we could see that the wood that we had put in there to brace the fan had quite a lot of cracks in it, which indicated
that
not
just cracks, it was some pretty
good damage.
Good damage.
Yeah, and so we could see that the pressure had somehow, like obviously had an impact on that van. We got back in touch with our New Zealand shipping agent and said we actually might need to do another claim on that insurance. So we'd already been paid out for the insurance by the stage. And we said, look, we don't know how bad this is going to be. And he was really good. He said, look, I'll give it a go. And again, sent some paperwork through. They wanted more quotes. We wouldn't know how bad the damage would be till we got back to VR Motorhome in Kuala Lumpur, and they took the solar panels off and started to really see what was happening beneath.
So after we left the Cameron Highlands, we headed back towards Kuala Lumpur, dropped our camper van off to VR Motorhomes, and they proceeded with starting the repairs.
One of the things that was so good about the VR Motorhome team is they were really happy for Darryl to be on site and there the whole day. So when Darryl says he dropped the van off, it's not like he dropped it off and went out and got a massage or something like that. Like he dropped it off but actually stayed there to understand how the repairs were going.
I guess really because we built it, it was also to assist them with answering any questions that they may have. Alright, so on Monday morning, first thing the team started with was removing the solar panels, I guess in the sequence that they needed to be done. So there were probably really two kind of things that were quite apparent. The main one, the most easiest one that you could see is the join between the two kind of sections of the camper van and construction of it in the factory. There's a seam that is between the two sections, and it's, I guess, some kind of sealant that they've put on top of it, and that had a split in it, which allowed water to get into that split, and that's where we expect what had happened with the max fan, how it was shorting out. And then, physically you could see it, but there's also a bit more of an indentation in the panel just forward of that split as well.
And this is kind of like better case scenario than what you and I had anticipated.
Yeah, it was a split in the seam. So really what the team at VR done was that they removed the silicone around the area, and then just reapplied new silicone into it, and they actually applied quite a lot.
And also did the bit by our back door, which was nothing to do with the damage, but they just resolved a problem for us.
Yeah.
So during the consultation process that we'd had by the stage, like, let's say 3.5 weeks before then, before the repairs, we had talked about how to best replace the solar so that we maximised the amount of solar we could have on the roof. One of the things that Sam from VR Motorhome suggested is that we remove the closing covers of our max fans and instead have it so the fan sits essentially underneath the solar panel, and instead of having the 5 solar panels that were in an capital H shaped formation, that we have 3 big solar panels and the 2 max fans with no opening and closing. No lids. It might mean when we're in Europe and other colder places in the winter that we have to kind of insulate now a little bit more inside the fan.
We've still got the wire mesh.
No bugs are getting in there.
Yeah.
After the repairs were done, we did manage to get down to the beach for a few days.
Yeah, and actually you would have seen that because that's where we
filmed the last one. Yeah. And she's great. It's so nice having full working power again.
Yes.
Yeah, like
massive upgrade.
All those things.
Well, a significant upgrade. And just when we thought that we were starting to get our lives back in order again, during our travels through Malaysia, I knew that we needed to then start thinking about Thailand. Because we were a foreign registered vehicle, we needed to apply for a foreign vehicle permit. As New Zealand citizens, for us it's pretty easy. We can go into Thailand for 30 days without a visa. I was under the impression that it required 10 to 15 working days to get this permit. And probably an hour within that sending in that application, I was then advised by this person that no, it wasn't going to be 15 working days, it was going to be 60. Not 60 days, 60 working days.
And that has huge implications for our travel plans. So if you've seen in the previous video when we were trying to ship to India, we have an August date with China because we need to get into China by August so that we can drive into Kyrgyzstan before the snow hits in kind of mid to late September. So we want to be there in early September to do the mountain pass. That 60 days, which is what, 12 weeks? 12 weeks was very different than the 2 to 3 weeks we thought we had to apply for. So our hopes of travelling from Malaysia, go down and get the van repaired in Kuala Lumpur and then hoof it up to the Thailand border were dashed. And so we had to come up with something else.
So just good old, I guess what we do.
Being adaptive, pivoting.
Talking to each other
Yeah.
and trying to figure things out.
So because of the route that we had planned our overlanding journey to go on, we knew that there were some countries that we weren't going to be able to get to and some cities that were just a bit too much of a stretch. So you may have heard us talk in other videos where we already had planned to go to some major cities in China and we had a tour in Vietnam. We'd also added on Japan and Korea. So we already had planned to Our plan had been to go to Malaysia, to Thailand, to Laos, leave the van in Laos, and then fly to Japan, fly to South Korea, fly up to Shanghai and do Shanghai, Xi'an and Beijing, then fly to Ho Chi Minh and do an organised tour because it's very expensive to take foreign vehicles into Vietnam, and we decided we just couldn't justify that cost. So we had some stuff booked. So this 60 days, Darryl immediately went and said, all right, I'm doing the application. Let's do it from today so we could get this countdown started. And then what we decided to do was, instead of trying to go overlanding in Thailand, Laos and Cambodia, that we would not bring the van to Cambodia. And we would instead come to Cambodia and travel through southern Laos and other means leaving the van in Malaysia. So it involved us reorganising some flights, and kind of giving up a little bit of our travel hopes of driving at Zwibble through all the way through Laos, down through Cambodia and then back up to Laos to do our border crossing. I don't know if you know, but you may know that we post little daily videos on YouTube, on Instagram and on TikTok, and the moment that we said we're flying out of Malaysia, we had people saying, what are you doing with your van? And just want to be clear, we're not abandoning van life, we're just adapting.
Yes,
to the
do.
circumstances. Yeah. And so our plan now is we're already on the road. So we ended up leaving Malaysia in early May, I think it was. Darryl found us a place to store the van there for 2 months. So we're going to be without the van for 2 months. So we've jumped on a plane, come to Cambodia, and we're traveling through different means. So Cambodia, we're traveling by tuk-tuk, which is super fun, and there'll be videos of that coming out soon. And then from Cambodia, we're heading into southern Laos and traveling by bus, by boat, by scooter. But it gives us, what we really wanted to do is to again make sure that we're not losing time with this hiccup. And so while our hopes and dreams are still on travelling the world by van, we are more than happy to be travelling it by tuk-tuk, by scooter, by bus, and then when we get to Japan, by train, by plane. And so we're going to be, the videos will be a bit different for the next period of time as we just kind of show our travels more so than full van life.
Yes.
And we're hoping that our intended date to cross over into Thailand is the 3rd of July, the day before Darryl's birthday, and we're hoping that, fingers crossed, that is the birthday present that he gets this year with no more hiccups along the way.
And hey, first of all, we actually really want to thank you. You know, the ones who comment, passing their thoughts, commiserations,
ideas, suggestions.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it.
if you have watched this kind of slightly rambly video as it ties up our story with a little bow, thank you. And thanks for watching. If you like the video, it would be really helpful if you gave it a like. And if you want to actually see more of our travels and as we explore the world overlanding through various mechanisms in the next 2 months and then back in the van, do hit the subscribe button. We think we will keep you entertained as we travel on the road, and we'd love for you to come along with us.